mentioned earlier that one of the things we're going to look at is your projects list complete? And here's an example of one of the slides. One of the exercises that we have people do is look through some of the tactical things that they have in their lives, right? We've done a mind sweep, as you can see, so that'll be something to consider. The entries in their calendars, what's on their next actions list or their agendas list. Is there something physical in their briefcase or their bag which implies a project? So those are the kinds of things that we're doing. I guess another thing I'd say about level 2, for those of you who've experienced level 1, level 2, there's more time for you to be implementing the ideas than maybe you experienced in a one-day level 1 if you took the one day. So there's a lot more time for exercises. There's a lot more time to put the learning to use in the level 2. As I said earlier, we introduced the natural planning model. For those of you, by the way, that are curious about the natural planning model, I think it's one of the unsung heroes of getting things done. Incredibly powerful for all of those situations where what you'd say is, you know what, I've identified the next action for something, and I've identified the desired outcome, great, which we all learned about in level 1. But this project that I'm thinking about, it feels like it needs more. It feels like that's not enough planning. And so what the natural planning model gets into is, what does more planning look like? Okay, so we both introduce it theoretically, of course, but we also give you the chance to run 3 or 4 of your own projects through the natural planning model to see how it might be helpful for you. Then we move on and talk about orientation maps. Now, again, those of you who've been following David Allen's work for quite a long time may recognize this term. An orientation map is anything that gives you, that allows you to orient yourself appropriately. In other words, to be pointed at the things that you need or want to be pointed at. And so in this part of the seminar, what we're looking at is we're asking questions about your own system. Do you have the right orientation maps? Do you have the right list? Do you have the right contexts? Are there checklists that you should be keeping that you're not keeping at the moment? We make suggestions about all of these things, and we have exercises where you can add to your own system, of course, as part of this as well. And that's actually probably something else worth mentioning. The other thing about the seminar is that at the end of the day, you're doing a lot of work in your own system, right? So we'll encourage you to bring your system with you, whether it's on paper or whether it's in the Google tools or in Outlook or whatever it's in, or Remember the Milk or whatever your tool is, your tools of choice are. We encourage you to bring that with you to the seminar so that you can actually work with your system as you make your way through the seminar and therefore refine your own practice. And then finally, just one more slide from the level 2 deck. Excuse me. Orienting reviews. So if I've got the right orienting maps, that's one question. But another interesting question is, okay, I've got the right lists in my system. I've got the right context. I've got the right, I've got the right waiting for list and structure, and it feels like the core of my system is in good shape in terms of the way that it's structured. When we get into an orienting reviews is, okay, how do I use it, right? How do I interact with my system in the most effective way? So I hope that's given you a little bit of a picture of the level 3, the level 2. The level 2 is has been around for a few years now. It evolved out of David Allen's, if we go way back in the evolution of GTD seminars, back when I started doing the work in 2009, one of the things that was true at the time was there was just a seminar. It was a 2-day seminar. It was incredibly intense. And it was the kind of thing that people regularly walked out of it feeling quite inspired, but also hugely overwhelmed. And our experience over time was that it wasn't serving people well in the sense that they didn't take away practical implementation of the ideas. And so by creating this three seminar structure, what we're doing is we're giving you the chance really to all the material is there at a much deeper level, and we're giving you the chance to say, okay, I've been a GTDer now for 6 months, 6 years, whatever the number is, and I really want to look at how do I do this more deeply and more fundamentally with my own system, with my own knowledge of GTD. And the level 2 seminar is a great step 2 in that evolution.